There's still so much more to do. We could burn these, we could undercook them. We still have a deadline of about 4:30, maybe even 5 I could push it to, and we still have to feed 60 people. So there's still a lot on the line here.
Now, the only way to do this is on a pit big enough to handle that much meat. The only problem is I've never ever smoked ribs on an open pit before. It's completely different. Sure, I'm a chef and I've smoked tons of other food before, but this is not the same. If I've never done it, I've never done it before. And I have to feed 60 people on a pit I've never smoked ribs on before. Everyone knows in the neighborhood what I do, so I'm sure the expectations are crazy high. I'm nervous.
Okay, it's 7:05 a.m. I'm a little bit ahead of time, which is great. Just dropping some stuff off at the pit, barbecue sauces, tools, all that good stuff. Once we're set up, it's time to start rolling. Down here at the pit area at my buddy's house, there's like a little creek in the background. It's beautiful. Hopefully the weather holds up today. It's supposed to be pretty nice. Hopefully not too hot. It gets kind of crazy, but this is the pit that we built last year when we smoked a pig for the first time ever on an open pit, which we built. Totally Texas style, but this is different than a pig. A pig is a little more forgiving. There's so much more meat on there. Ribs, they're thin. This is why it's a little bit nerve-wracking for me to try to make these perfect when I make them. But this is the pit. We've got a lot more stuff to do.
Everything with the pit looks fantastic. The burn barrel is ready to roll. Hopefully, this little princess we have here can help work her magic today.
I need to go pick up the ribs now at the studio. I kept them up there to save some room at home in the refrigerator. And I chose baby back ribs. And the big reason is because they have a little bit more meat and fat on them, which I figured they would help stay juicy a little longer, just in case things dry out, and everything on a barbecue always wants to dry out. So I'm gonna get as much protection as possible. But my biggest concerns for sure is obviously feeding 60 people. That's a lot of people, especially using a procedure I've never done before. Also, I don't know if all 30 racks are going to fit on there. We're going to have to maybe do some workarounds, which is going to be interesting. I've got a few rib racks that maybe we can try to put them on there. But the biggest thing now, let's get the ribs, let's get them on ice in a cooler, and then we'll start marching our way back over to that pit.
Just a few bags of ice is all I'm going to need. I just want to keep the ribs cold for maybe an hour and a half. Once the pit is clean, all we're doing is seasoning these ribs and placing them right on there.
Now, the good thing about being a good amount ahead of schedule, I can stop for an eggy cheese sandwich.
Reminder to anyone who wants to lift a cooler with 30 racks of ribs in it, don't do it. Your back will not like you. Thank goodness my good friend Alex was just around the corner. He helped me wheel it down this gigantic hill to get it prepped up and ready to roll.
All right, just dropped off the ribs. What we want to do now, Alex went ahead and cleaned out the pit and put a bunch of wood in there. We want to burn it and get it super, super hot. Now, the reason is because, well, this hasn't been used in a long time, and if anyone hasn't used it in a grill in a while, what do? They absolutely light it up and get those flames creeping through. So that's what we're going to do, and then scrub it really, really good. Make sure it's super clean before we put any ribs down.
We found a helper, or better yet, Alex's son. We're just going to add a bunch of paper in there. Really, again, we want this fire to light as quickly as possible and get as big as possible. Also, if you've got a lot of gnats and mosquitoes around, the smoke is huge to making sure they stay away. After the fire dies down just a little bit, I just scrubbed it off with a bristled brush, and then last but not least, I just oiled it up with a little bit of oil to get it nice and clean.
Oh, okay, it's getting hot. I'm starting to sweat already. It's not as bad as the garden was. It's not that humid out, but it is hot. And in front of all this fire, it definitely gets rolling. So the temperature of the grill is starting to come down. What we're going to do at this point is we are going to get our burn barrel going, get those coals making, because we want to continue to feed the pit once all of the ribs are on there. So really at this point, we're going to get going with some of that stuff.
A little secret, I added a grill thermometer right to the grates here so we can help regulate the temperature. I need to know the temperature where the ribs are. We're just going to place on the top here, conserve as much heat as possible because Alex can never sit still. He's always doing something. I told him to keep chopping wood. And we decided to go with oak wood, but you could use pecan, apple, cherry, any of those. We loaded up our burn barrel and wanted to get this lighting as quickly as possible. The goal here is to get beautiful coals that trickle down in between the rebar we drilled through there, just like this.
Coals are being made. Everything looks great. We need to get to the ribs, and we have 30 racks here. 20 of the racks or so we are going to do with a very simple seasoning blend that I always put on there. 10 of the racks, Alex likes a little bit of heat, and he's going to season those up really, really well. He's got a nice little Memphis Rub there. So what we're going to do is just line everything up, dab it with paper towels, just the normal process. And of course, way at the end, what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll sauce it up.
The blend that I love and always use is a combination of garlic granules, onion granules, paprika, season it up very well with sea salt, then finish it with cracked black pepper.
And I like mine a little bit spicier. I like to do a Memphis Rub. I'm using the standard ingredients: salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. But what I'm adding to it is a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of paprika, and a little bit of chili powder and cayenne powder. And obviously you guys can adjust those measurements as much as you guys want to heat it up as much as you want. I like it a little bit spicy with a little bit of sweet, and that's going to give you all your three major flavors: your sweetness, your saltiness, and your hotness for your rib rub.
Who's a chef here? Hammer me. Dang, that sounds good.
Space is going to be crazy tight on this pit for all 30 racks, so I have a few rib racks, and what these do is they help stand them up. I think there's going to be plenty of heat and smoke to sneak in between these and get them nice and cooked up and get that flavor, that char. The rest of the ribs, the ones that Alex did, are right on the grate. We thought this would be a great way to help keep them separated. Put the top on.
So it's incredibly challenging right now because we want to find the room on the pit to make sure everything's on there. We might have to rotate some things in and out, but here is the process. Continue to make coals through that burn barrel. We feed it, keep it in between that 200 and 275 degrees Fahrenheit. Guess what? If it goes a little bit above, we wait a little longer. If it goes below, we immediately start adding it. But this is the process, so we're going to stick to the game plan. Probably going to take 4.5, 5 hours. Remember, ribs should not fall off the bone. They should gently tug away. That's exactly what we're looking for here, okay? Pray for me. Let's hope this happens.
Showtime. Let's remove the top, and let's definitely see what we're working with so far.
Everything's going good. The ribs look absolutely stunning. The sense of relief has come over me. I mean, there's so much more to go, but everything looks really, really good. And this is that old school barbecue. We've got a burn barrel. We've got the concrete pit rolling. I mean, this is what it's all about. We got good friends here, and I'm really excited for this to finish up, but there's still so much more to do. We could burn these. We could undercook them. We still have a deadline of about 4:30, maybe even 5 I could push it to. And we still have to feed 60 people. So there's still a lot on the line here. But so far, so good. Keep it up. All right, we're about to go for our second flip. It's been about 3 hours. They look awesome. We're going to do the barbecue sauce, and you know how I like to do it. 2 cups of barbecue sauce, 1 cup of apple juice, a half cup of apple cider vinegar, and 1 stick. But I have a huge pot. I've taken that to a different level. There's a gigantic pot I have on. So after we do this next flip, we're going to go another 45 minutes to 60 minutes. We are going to set some ribs off to the side. We're going to sauce what we want to sauce. Get that extra char on there. You can see those ribs starting to really darken up, look absolutely beautiful. That's what we want on there. We're going to mop them with the sauce. So we're going to wait another 45, 60 before we take it off, start separating some things and moving some things around.
So this second flip here, you're starting to see that char mark. Not only are they cooking, they are slow smoking. It smells, I don't even know how to explain it. It smells like I'm in the middle of Texas. It's fantastic. We're going to continue to smoke these and let that smoke trickle out of this pit. Okay, it is time to start saucing these up. They look incredible. They couldn't look any better. I'm just blown away. We're going to move some things around, put them bone side up. Now the goal here is to start saucing everything with that tasty sauce we made. We just want to gently put it on there, mop it on there, not completely coat it or load it up with too much sauce. We just want to flavor it up and season it up. Not too much longer before these bad boys are finished up.
Just did the second to last flip, that Penn Ultimate flip. It looks really good. It smells really good, but people are starting to show up. So We got about 30 more minutes till we flip one more time, put it bone side down, mop it again, let it cook for another 30, 35, then maybe just rest, not that long. They're ribs, they're not big old, pork shoulders. And then we'll start slicing and serving, and then, oh man, it'll be out to the masses to see what everyone thinks. But so far so good. So far so good. But still a lot of pressure here.
That final flip, I don't know what to say. I'm still a little bit nervous here, making sure these are delicious. We're gonna mop the top of these. We're gonna keep Alex's separate. Again, he did not want any sauce on his. Totally fine. Again, give that nice thin coat of barbecue sauce to help flavor it up.
Okay, we are rounding third base. It looks good, it smells good. Some of the ribs on the outsides where it's real hot, they might be more a little fall off the bone. The ones in the center where the heat is a little bit more regulated, they're perfect. They seem perfect. People are going to be here in 10 to 15 minutes. The goal here is to keep them warm until more folks start showing up. And what we'll do is I'll start slicing them up and then putting them into pans, putting them out there for the masses, and then excited to hear what they think and nervous at the same time. So hopefully they dig it.
I'm just gonna slice them up in 2 to 3 bone increments. I always think of nice little portion sizes that isn't going to overwhelm anyone who eats them.
We sliced them up. We're sending them out there. The verdict is out. Hope they like them.
All I know is before everybody got served, I was down by the grill and I got to get a first crack at these ribs. And dude, the char, the sauce, just mouth-watering goodness. I don't know what I did to deserve to be here. I don't even belong in this neighborhood. I don't even live here, but I got invited. So here I am, crashing the party.
Awesome experience today. The ribs are phenomenal. Multiple spices to choose from, and homemade barbecue sauce. What more could you ask for?
The ribs are fabulous. Awesome. Come get some.
Okay, first of all, the ribs were like heaven. It's like heaven just came into the ribs,
I love my dad's ribs. They are so good. You should try them too. I love them because they're really flavorful and they are so good.
I'm thinking success.
Cannot believe we pulled this off. What a crazy day that was. The flavor of those ribs were incredible. That little char on there, just that little bit, makes a world of difference. They're so good. Now, if you want to pair these up with something to take it to that next level, check out my homemade baked beans. Oh my gosh, paired up with these ribs, game changer. I'll see you on there.